Hey, this is gonna be a little weird, a little different for me. I don't know exactly how I want to do all of this, um, but I've tried to set this up as best as I can here. Um, the mic's down here. I got some red green light thing going on, cleverly off cam so you can't see them, but pointing them out breaks that illusion anyway, doesn't it? Um, is it red and green? Because that's what I meant to say. Now I don't know if I said red and green or if I accidentally said red and blue, but red and green. Um, and so hopefully that lighting effect is cool, and hopefully this video isn't so dark that it's all washed out. I debated. Look, truth be told, I debated on the sweater. Okay, I had one that had like it's like the you may have seen it before, like the black, gray, and white one, and so I thought the white would kind of show off colors better for like the angles and stuff. But here's got like some different, like there's red and green in it a little bit, so depending on the angle and everything, and I don't know. I've tried to make these work as best I can. Hopefully, it ends up looking cool on cam because it looks cool. It looks cool in person, so we'll see. And then I like that my trees in the background, my little rope light, um, evergreen tree, ever, ever RGB tree, and of course, to stay festive, I'm wearing my season non-specific hat. And I'm just going to do this soft spoken. I've got this set to stereo on my microphone right now as well. I'm just gonna need this lay down here because I spent like probably like half an hour to 45 minutes here trying to get this all set up. Like I want the camera like here, I want a nice position. I want to be able to see the tree. I want these cool lights on the sides, and I want come on, mic here. My mic. Hopefully none of this is in the shot or not obnoxiously in the shot. Actually, is it in the shot? It absolutely is. It's hard to see because it's dark and my viewfinder is way over there, and I can't really set up the shot and do everything there. So like this is where negative space up here. Whatever. I don't have tons of decorations and everything up anyway, so I don't know how well the awesome ones down here are going to show up, but I do have some on my fridge, and I love them. But yeah, I'm trying to stay kind of further away from the fridge and fence over there, more in the center of the room here with the microphone, and like the computer's over there, because that's where the stuff has to be plugged in to record that. So I figured it'd be nice, because even though it's easy to do audio on this camera doesn't have that good of audio, so I'm using the microphone. I don't know, I left the windscreen on, but I don't know if I'm going to try to edit out the background noise thing and do any of that, or if I'm just going to say, let natural noises happen because it's ASMR. But I figure I'll just leave the kind of the most of the stuff alone for like the, so it picks up. So I don't have to be right next to it, but I think this is more like I'm not speaking super softly, but kind of the soft-spoken, natural ASMR ramble thing. I thought that would work well. So, just so you guys know, I'm trying to make this good and cool and nice quality without sacrificing the natural sound and the genuine nature of ASMR stuff. So that's why I front-loaded this with all this info. So hopefully I won't have to get up and do all this other crap and whatever. And hopefully it's good. So this is just a big thing because I know I haven't done any ASMR videos for a while, but especially I feel like this year I've been slacking on them way hard. I think I've done like maybe one, and then like I did the ASMR game collection update, which is they hardly count, and then I think I did one in like February. And then I just did one at the end of November. So, oops. So, when I'm recording this, it's like December 14th. I'm sure by the end of me saying all this long rambling crap, everything, when I'm done recording, it'll probably be past midnight, so it'll be in the 15th. But I've got a whole list of things here, a whole list that I wrote down on a notebook of just stuff to go through because not really a sounds video, it's a ramble video, but I do need to do more things with those. I'm aware. Mostly this is just kind of the year in review, a reflection of stuff. So I tried to kind of timeline it out a bit, and it's about a page long of stuff. So yeah, some of it is probably a bit more of a downer and serious stuff. Some of it is nice stuff. Some of it's just stuff about the channel, so it's kind of a mix of things. And I think I'll be doing a year in review thing for, ASMR video game collection update as well. I'll be doing that at the end of the year probably. So look forward to that, I guess. So I thought we'll start off light. Basically, I just want to talk about first, just general Christmas stuff, because my family sort of celebrates Christmas, and I say sort of because it's not we don't do it as a religious thing. We just do it kind of as hey, it's you do Christmas, there's the Santa and whatever, and commercial holiday, and you do the tradition, you do things. And there you go. I don't know. That's the presents and the whatnot. This year is probably gonna be a little different. Not that different. I think the immediate family stuff is still gonna happen at least, anyways. We're gonna kind of have some of that and get together and do that. Unless plans change from right now recording this and when this goes up or whatever. But what we've done for the last few years is basically just because there's other other families and other obligations and traditions and stuff to do. A lot of times it'll be I want to do this, but I can't. Because we want to do it on this day. You want to do this day, and I want to run around all on the same weekend, or this weekend here, this weekend. I don't know, the splitting Christmas thing is annoying. So what we've kind of ended up doing now is essentially we pretty much just it's usually we'll do it the New Year's weekend or the weekend after people are doing their Christmas stuff, and that's because whatever the Christmas time or whatever around then, we'll do it the free time after that. Usually it goes into the weekend, I guess, whatever it would connect, because people take days off or whatever, and so we do it around more closer to the New Year stuff. And I like that because for one thing, it gives you more days, right? So you have more days to shop, which sometimes a lot of times in the past I feel like I've kind of needed that, and it gives you what else was I gonna say? Oh, it gives you the ability to get deals on this stuff. It's after Christmas stuff, but it's Christmas things. You can get the stuff didn't sell then or whatever. It's hey, it's really cheap right now before they take it away. There's that. This year is mostly different in that not that different for me, I guess. I think I did this last year, since I had money and a card I could use to buy things online. I did a lot of online shopping because it's easier for me to find stuff there versus having to physically find it in the store. And if the thing I'm looking for is not there, then oh, what do I do now? I don't know. That's a thing. And then I don't know. So and you can get better ideas just kind of browsing other things on there. So I really like the online shopping thing a lot. Granted, I only really shop on Amazon, but I have Amazon Prime. You can get pretty good delivery, and they don't charge you extra for the shipping and stuff, and it's good. It's also allowed me to do a thing with Amazon wishlist stuff, and it's oh yeah, then people could get me stuff from my Amazon wishlist, and I get them stuff, especially people I know on the internet that maybe wouldn't necessarily trust me with their address. So that's cool. Be able to do stuff like that. So far, I don't think anyone's actually ever gotten me anything off of my wish list, but That might change this year. We'll see. Now, the yeah, I guess this year, like, so I guess I don't know. Basically, just like to me, I don't think this year's gonna be that different, really. Um, and I don't know. I guess we'll see. But so far, it's been pretty similar. Um, and that's lucky for me, I guess. But anyway, I don't know. Is this like centered enough? I don't know. Let's see. Hopefully, that's not making crazy loud noises when I do that. And hopefully this whole thing records, otherwise. Shit. So I think that's pretty much all I had, I think, for that. Also, I tend to not, I guess, for Christmas things, I don't necessarily make... I always have the idea that I'm going to make something for, like, a Christmas video and do, like, kind of like... Or, like, New Year's or something, like, something for, like, the holiday time video. But it's not, like, a huge thing, so, like... I don't know. This is it this year, so hopefully this is cool. I'm hopeful. So we'll cross this off of our list. Okay, so let's kind of run through the year a bit here. So around like February, January, February, something early this year was not that long after Christmas too. So of course I still didn't have all that much money because I had been shopping for Christmas stuff, and that dents your wallet a bit. The TV I was using, which is actually, it was an older TV. It was an upgrade from my previous one, which I may have talked about this already a bit before, but I had like I don't know if it was a Trinitron. It was some Sony TV that was like, it was still a flat screen, but it was like, a CRT still, and it was a really nice TV for stuff like playing Nintendo 64 and like older stuff on it. But playing newer stuff on it, it was kind of hard to see things. Obviously, like I did play. I think I played Dead Space on that TV. I think I did hook up my PS3 to it. When I had that, and it was like, whoa, like you can do it because you have the cables for it. You can do it, but it's like obviously that thing is meant to be played in like HD, a better display than that. So, so I had this other one, and this one was nice because it had HDMI ports on it. For one thing, instead of just the composite hookups, and it had a built-in DVD player, so I could play DVDs on it without having to use something else for a DVD player or a DVD player itself or something, right? So that was cool. And also it was because the TV, the main TV we got, like for the living room TV, that was that TV, but then upgraded to like a smart TV. I think it was a cheaper smart TV. It's like a Hisense or something. It was probably on sale and whatever. It's probably visually better than this one was, because this one was actually really traily. This is like a Samsung something or other, and basically what was happening was it done this a few times, but it started doing this thing where sometimes it would like the picture would go out, and I could still have sound. It was really still doing things, but there was just zero picture. And I just shut it off for a while, and then like turned it on like later, and it worked fine. I think one time I turned it off for like a day, and then turned it on again, and it worked fine when it happened. But eventually got to the point where there was one where there was like multiple days in a row where it just would not, the picture would not come back. And I'm like, well, shit, this TV's dead, right? So it's like I need a new TV now, and I was like, well, I kind of want to upgrade TVs. Then if I'm going to get one, I want to get one and get like a nicer one. And so you can kind of see it over there, which, like I didn't mention this, it's not actually off right now. I just have it paused on a YouTube video, one of mine, where it's like blank screen. I can still see a few little like weird lines on it. I don't know if that's from the visual effects from my video or if something weird is happening with the picture. I hope it's just artifacting crap from the video. And hopefully it stays paused and nothing like pops up on the screen or whatever, but I want it to be blank. The reason I didn't shut it off is because whenever I do that, if I shut it off when it's been on for a long time, which has been on for hours now, it makes these weird cracking sounds. And this light, I was hearing making a few of those a bit while I'm doing this. I'm, again, trying to eliminate the sounds by keeping stuff kind of further away anyway, but I was trying to avoid that. You might still hear stuff from like the vent, the fridge, whatever. Anyways, so this whole fiasco was me going on and being like, okay, well, having to go on and research TVs and stuff and what I want to get. The big thing I was finding was that I was like, well, what's the difference between QLED and OLED? And I was looking down all this stuff, and I was like, like OLEDs will only light up parts that need light, and black things will not light up. Whereas like this is still, you can tell the over there is still kind of lit, even though it's all like black. It's just a lot dimmer. So like the OLEDs, like actually each like thing is like each pixel is like its own individual like whatever in their tube. And it's like, okay, so this is just like lots of basically, because like instead of like LCD screens are like, the one panel of that, this is like many panels of that. It has like each individual pixel, and an OLED though is that. This is a QLED. And the reason I ended up doing this, because even though it's like, they're better like for, I don't have a high light environment, like it's low light in here, so it'll look really good there with really good contrast. Doesn't use as much energy or kick off as much heat. And like just all these things that sounded great. And the one thing I didn't mention until like I looked up like something on another thing, like a separate search about it. Apparently, the smallest you could get them at the time was 55-inch TV, and 55-inch TV isn't gonna fucking fit there. So I was like, okay, well, fuck that then. And I guess I'm going with the QLED. That makes my decision for me. So this is like a 42-inch 4K, because the other thing I had was like 32, I think. So this is 42, but this is a newer one, so it also doesn't have the huge frame around it. In the meantime, I was using my little like 20-some inch, or maybe it's 19-inch LCD, whatever that is, LCD Samsung TV over there. It's like pretty small. I was using that. The Switch hooked up to it, which was nice, so I could watch YouTube on that still and do whatever for a few days, and for that week or whatever I was waiting. So I get this TV, comes in, and I kind of just had it on the floor for a while, and I set it up. The other thing I want to say, so this is 4K, 42-inch QLED TV from Samsung, smart TV. It's got 4 HDMI ports, one of which is HDMI ARC, and I think it's got USB port on it or two. Might only be one. I don't know. I have to look. They're inconveniently around the side over there, on the far side of it, so it's hard to. Whoa, is that reflecting off the? Oh, it is. Whoa. So it's really hard to, it's hard to get to those things, honestly. I wish they were on the other side, or just generally easier to get to. But I wanted a bunch of HDMI ports so I could plug all my stuff in. And basically, I got that, and I actually had to get a stand for it because I measured it and it seemed like it would fit, but the problem is with the legs, they kind of like go like out a bit. So like because they stand in from the outsides a bit, but they bow out a bit, like where the actual points touch the. So like it would be like here, but the feet themselves would like go out that way, kind of like that on the bottoms, if that makes sense. And there's the shitty plastic legs that comes with, and yeah, it just slightly wouldn't fit there, no matter how I angled it. So then I had to wait a little bit longer. Like I think I still set the TV up while I was like sitting on the floor on those legs, but I ordered a stand, a universal center stand, which you might be able to see. I don't know if that really is going to pick up in the shot that it's on. However, it was not this one. The first one I ordered, I went through the task of putting that together. It was many pieces and the weird tiny wrench things and screwdriver things. It just suck. And I got it all put together. I put the TV on it, and basically the problem was that the back of it, the way it was like cut, is that I couldn't actually like part of like the screws were like pushing against like the metal of like the stand. It was making it like bend way up. And it didn't seem very safe or secure, and so I basically had to order a different one that had I just got one with a really open back so I wouldn't have that problem again. Put that one together, put the TV on it, pick the TV up, and when I pick the TV up to put the stuff up there too, it's like I read the diagram wrong. They had it on the booklet because they were like, don't grab it from like the front of it, like grab it by the corners, but they were showing two people grabbing it, and I was seeing a hand on the top, and it looked like there was just a hand on the top and a hand on the top corner. What I didn't really notice is that there was also another hand underneath it supporting the bottom part of it. So I thought it was weird. You have to just pick up the two top corners. So I had to like put it up there. That's not how you're supposed to do it. But yeah, I got it up. Got it on the next stand, which was actually really fucking hard. And then I got it set up and adjusted and stuff. And then it's like cool. And it does still a little bit tilt kind of up, which is why I want to get basically because I'm still kind of lower from where it is too. I do kind of want to get like a stool kind of thing, or like a higher like stool chair things that sometimes I can sit there and play it from a higher altitude. So it's easier to like see more clearly and just probably better for posture. Even this other chair I have here that the microphone is sitting on, my new computer chair, which is like a padded folding chair, is like better than like this thing. If I want to like sit up and do this and just like, I don't know. The reason I'm not sitting on that for the video, probably because the microphone sits on that chair better, and partly because that chair makes a lot of noise when I move around on it. So it's not as good for ASMR. Nor is my floor. So I'm trying not to walk around or anything. I even took a Code Red out of the fridge and put it down here to drink, but I do have to finish this regular Mountain Dew. Anyway. Mountain Dew. Okay. Hold on, let me product placement that. You want to sponsor me? You can't read that probably anyway, but consider it. Oh shit. So yeah, that was most of my TV fiasco. The other part of it that sucked was that they even said, on top of it being like, not having a lot of money necessarily right then to do it, they kind of said, like, when I was looking stuff up online, like what TV to get and everything, they were like, well, you probably, like, this is actually like the worst time to get it because it's early in the year, so everything you're getting are the 2019 models at full price because the new stuff isn't out yet. But so you kind of want to wait until the new models start coming out to either get the 2019 ones for cheaper or get the newer ones. And I didn't want to go around waiting around that long with that, and might like without a nice TV. And I was like, I'm gonna do it. Like I'm gonna get one because like this other TV was I don't know how many goddamn years old. It was kind of old. It looked really traily. It looked fine. Like it looked better for high HD stuff because it was compatible with that more so. And it's like a widescreen kind of thing. So like when I plugged in the Nintendo 64 stuff, it always looked really traily on it and like bad. And in the smaller screen, it was really like smaller space because it was 4:3 aspect ratio on a 16:9 display. Although the Super 64 that I bought, that kind of upscales it and converts it, made it look nicer. But yeah, it's anything that like it was the TV was gonna be newer than that. So I was like, okay, well that's good. And I don't know. So I did that. And funny enough, also the remote is also a Samsung TV. This other little TV that I set up next to my computer. So I was like, oh, I'll stream on it. And like that didn't work because trying to hook stuff up to it wasn't working properly. I just don't really know why. I think it's because it was something to do with probably the age of like the TV and the connection with the HDMI and like the capture card and the switch and whatever. It was like, I don't know what's going on. Works fine on this one though. So like, I got an HDMI splitter to deal with that, but I haven't ever tried it yet. So whatever. Anyway, so that's just kind of been sitting there, but I have to leave it unplugged because the remote for that one will affect this TV, and the remote for this TV will affect that TV. Like, I can't believe it. They're how many goddamn years apart, like, they have to be, at least probably close to a decade apart. Maybe not quite, but the same remote still works. I'm kind of surprised at that. But, they are both Samsung TVs, I guess. They just floored me a little bit. So that was and that's the reason I got the Xbox One S, actually, was because I got that, and it's like, well, it's 4K TV. So what's like a good 4K player for like, 4K stuff and like Blu-rays and everything, and DVDs and whatnot. And one of the things I came up with, Xbox One S. Because it's not, as fancy as the Xbox One X, but it was like $200, which was roughly the price that a lot of the other stuff was for like, decent quality 4K players anyway. And I was like, well, it'll have the extra bonus of also being a game console, something that I will use. And that's how I got that, and it's been really, really cool. So that's good. And I've been liking my TV just fine. Having it be a smart TV is nice. I don't have to have like a Roku hooked up to it like I did for the previous one. And I mean, it's got problems for some things. It can be like not great for some stuff, but in general, it's been pretty good. Looks nice. Lets me do all the stuff I want to do on it. So I like it. I think that's the TV rant. Yeah. Then we get into around March or so, which I should probably talk about that first, huh? So around March, I think, is when we really started to see the we can talk about this now, right? YouTube's not gonna yell at me now. The COVID-19 pandemic stuff. And things were like, okay, we're gonna lock shit down. I actually kind of lucked out for a lot of this because I work in a bank. I only work part-time though, and the part-timers at the other location, they actually got they're like laid off for a bit. They're like, okay, well, since the lobbies are closing, we don't need as many people there. And then they were gonna do that to me at mine, but the people, like, whatever, my higher ups that were at the location there anyways were like, no, we still use, like, and like the other people work and stuff too, like, no, we need him there for, especially for like if people are taking vacations and stuff, we need him there to like also be tellering and do stuff, because I'm just a part-time teller. So some of the other people can do other stuff. So like, if they're busy doing that stuff, you need somebody tellering, so it helps to have me come in, especially during vacations when you because they don't have to take their time to go and jump to do tellering stuff and then come back and whatever. So that was I guess lucky of me for that. And basically my hours were like, they were cutting back on sometimes because, again, they have enough people there to cover when there's not vacations. But when there were vacations, I was getting a lot more hours. So it didn't really affect me that much because my schedule is always all over the place anyway, because it's mostly built to accommodate when I'm needed. And Also, like, as far as like hobbies and stuff, whatever, like, I play video games, and like, I like, streaming and making YouTube content, all that stuff. um, and what masturbating, porn, like, well, the things I want to do are all things I can pretty much do without needing to leave the house, right? So, like, the lockdown thing didn't really like affect me that greatly. I've isolated myself from people a lot before anyway, right? So it's like I've been very well prepared for this. It hasn't been that hard on me at all, honestly. So I've been really lucky with that stuff. Um, but also in March, the thing was that the thing that I did, um, was around. I believe it was around March. I had decided to go through with my idea for major YouTube channel cleanup. And for the first time in like 10 years, actually going through like everything and really thinking about, do I want to keep this or not? And I went through and deleted a lot of stuff. I tried to look for old ASMR videos I thought weren't that good, didn't have that much for views and engagement, and nobody was like commenting, being like, I need to keep this one, I want to watch this one again. I got rid of all that shit. And I basically, I went through and took on essentially all of my music, so I could do the project of remastering everything through Audacity, which meant just putting the existing one track of all music that I had for a song, getting rid of background noise, boosting bass, and just mostly just that, and then like releasing it again, along with about the albums, so I could do like, and I got rid of like pretty much all the instrumental stuff, and I got like everything from all the tapes that was shoved onto like one thing, everything, so like everything that would fit, for like the best of from like all the tapes that I recorded before, mostly before I even started doing anything on YouTube with it. So I had to go through all those, separate all those into like individual tracks, get all those prepared. I'm still like, the idea is to burn all of these like to CDs as well, which is going to be another big project that I haven't done yet. I have a bunch of blank CDs to do it with. I just haven't done it yet. The other thing is, and then like, yeah, so there's that. There's a bunch of instrumental stuff that was just kind of out in the ether or on certain albums or whatever, and that just got combined into one album of stuff. And I had one of like dismantled albums that were singing on them. I'm just taking stuff from all those, and again, one album full of that stuff, like those like collections, plus the one I did through MTV Music Generator. That's there, and then it's just been going like kind of in order, re-releasing the albums, remastering them, and then doing about the albums and being like, this came out this year, this month of this year, and then I talk about each song on it and everything. And that's been a big project. But at this point in time, actually, I've finished recording all of the About the Albums episodes, finished editing all of them. They're all ready to go. They're just going out in their weekly releases. And the reason I started doing this, I started actually putting them out, was because I was like, okay, after doing so much editing and like, or so much channel cleanup and going through all this stuff, which I still need to go through the reviews for like the real person reviews, like the written reviews, to proofread them, and then I'm copying sections of that to like kind of give a bit of a synopsis in the description field on YouTube, because they usually like 5,000 characters or something. So I'm trying to get some of that in there. And I don't know. I got to do that yet. And then stream highlights is the other thing I have to do, where I've started doing some of those, but I haven't uploaded any. Where I'm going through my old streams, and basically anything that I'm trying to keep anything that's like, funny, or me getting mad, I guess, which is also funny, or like anything I do that I think is like impressive, or things that just seem like they're really weird in the game that happen. So look forward to those. But like, I haven't started uploading any of those yet, because I want to kind of wait until I'm closer to being done. But it's like, I'm only going to do it for like, basically, if I'm going to take a game down and not play it anymore, I'll just have the highlight video up. Or once I finish a game, I'll do a highlight video of all of the playtime of it. I've also been trying to do like the weekly uploads of What's the Deal with Sam, when I can get episode things for that, and so they can kind of stretch those out, and so I kind of have a flow of content still, so there's not these big gaps and then big waves of here's a bunch of content, right? And reviews have been slowed down a bit because, again, I don't want to get ahead of the reviews and then like have to keep catching up and play catch up with all of those. So I still have a lot to do for channel cleanup, essentially, is what I'm saying. A lot left to do, but I still feel like I'm significantly closer with all these projects I jumped into right away. And that was like roughly in March, and I was like doing that, and I saw like this, having an external hard drive. I wanted to bag a bunch of stuff up on. I haven't done that yet. Just a whole lot of stuff. But, I think that was the main gist of like doing all the channel cleanup stuff. And also comments. I'm trying to go back and make sure I've replied to every comment. I'm trying to keep on top of that better, which I'm pretty good at because I don't get tons of comments anyways, but it kind of depends. But I think that was all the things I had for the channel stuff, right? Yeah. Sure is. Let's cross all that off. Do I have anything left in my can of soda pep? Oh, I do. I wish it was a darker green than I could have got over there, but I guess it's an okay green. I'm using both of the red gels in the other light, so it's a very red. Do you like? It's like I have these lights now, so the light that I have that like attaches to like my camera's like stand thing is now like effectively useless because I never use it. I might as well just take it off of there, but that's fine for now. So then, I think this is kind of just, I don't know exactly when we started actually doing this, because I want to say it was roughly probably sometime in the spring, maybe. I've been, talking to some people online. I met, like, through Instagram, and it's like, okay, well, like, I'm playing some games together, and then eventually got to the point where it's like, so I'm just continually organizing it, trying to be like, hey, want to play a game, whatever. And we ended up, like, kind of deciding, like, okay, made a group, a server on Discord, like, all right, Tuesday game night. And so just every Tuesday we try to show up and then, play something together usually. Mostly it's been mostly I think it usually consists of things like Splatoon 2, Overwatch, and Super Smash Bros. Ultimate. Have been the three I think we've played the most. We may have tried a couple other things, I think, depending on who was there. And not everyone makes it all the time or whatever and stuff, but, like, that's the thing that's happened as well. So that's cool. I know it sounds super excited when I say that, I guess. But, no, it's good. It's just that, sometimes it depends on the night and everyone's mood and the game that's being played and how it goes, But generally it's fun. I'm usually there. I can usually make it pretty easily. But, that's another thing that had happened, and I jotted that down because I thought that was worthwhile to share. That's a thing that's been happening. That makes me seem like I'm social. I promise I'm not, but it sure sounds like that. Yeah, that was all I had for that point, wasn't it? Yeah. Oh god, so then we get to, basically it's around August or September or so. We get into fall garage sales, because the citywide garage sales for the spring ones, usually that's the big one. They didn't have them because of pandemic stuff. But they decided they're going to do the fall ones, and it's like, well, I think we have stuff left over from the last one. We could probably find more stuff. And so essentially getting ready for this was, I mean, we got ready for it for a while, because I think it was like early September or mid-September, something like that. That's when it happened, I think. And it was just like, essentially, at the same time, I was also like, okay, I'm going to do like a deep clean of like my room and kind of reorganize it. And so I was like taking, basically I was taking everything off of shelves and out of the closet and out of the bed and all the stuff. The stuff in the closet was shit that I hadn't looked at, like other than the TV that I dug out, was stuff that I hadn't really looked at since I had unceremoniously been booted out of college. And it's like, okay, well, I kind of shoved all of it in there, and that was basically it. So I was going through a lot of that stuff. That was kind of fun to do, kind of. It was interesting. And it's just taking all the stuff out everywhere. I was washing all the shelves and surfaces and everything, and then I was dusting them, washing them, drying them, and then putting like the anti-dust stuff on the surfaces. I was going to town on it. I vacuumed everywhere too, and putting a lot of air freshener stuff on things to make stuff fresher. I was kind of being a machine with that, and then I was also, that was how I was going through everything to like see what stuff I really wanted to like keep and stuff I wanted to potentially sell. And essentially, the idea for the garage sale ended up being like, whatever we don't sell, we'll try to donate. Whatever we can't donate, we'll probably just throw away. That was kind of the thought. And that was probably, I got probably at least 2 weeks of essentially a routine of, for me, because I think there was vacations happening at that time too. So essentially for me, it was like 2 weeks of like, okay, get up, go to work, come back, do garage sale prep stuff, because a lot of it my mom would want me to help with something for this or that or whatever and do things. And then when it was kind of like, okay, like that part's done of me helping with that specifically at that point, then I would go back to me trying to do my stuff. And it was a pain in the ass, because normally I would move my stuff into the room that's like right over here, like the sunroom room, and like put all my shit in there, and then I could have it out of the way while I was organizing and whatever, and like looking through everything and cleaning. But that's where all the garage sale stuff was going. So essentially I had to just kind of move everything to the center of my room, and then like, especially for vacuuming and shit, it was like get around everything. It was ridiculous. It took me probably longer than it should have. I wasn't doing much of anything other than that, because I was like, well, I don't want to like doing a lot of other things. I think that's also when I got my shelf came in too, and I built that and set that up because I was going to put all the systems and stuff on that shelf, and so I threw that over there. I got a sound bar for the TV for that thing too, and then I was also kind of pissed off because eventually I didn't get to use that till later, so I guess I'll save that for a minute. But it was like 2 weeks of that, probably, and during this time too, it was like I wasn't having a real great time of like, it was kind of wearing on me. I just kind of overworked and stressed. I wasn't really talking to anybody much. And then like, I actually, and because people weren't talking to me, I guess because they were like, oh, maybe he needs space because he seems whatever. Bad idea, don't do that. Most of the time, don't do that. If your idea of space should not be that long for me, that is bad. But, I basically, I don't know, I got like to the point of like, yeah, I'm not really talking to anybody. I kind of unfollowed and like removed people from some like platforms and stuff. I was in a pretty dark mental spot there doing that. It was really wearing on me, And the fact that people weren't really talking to me was also double wearing on me. Granted, some people did reach out a couple times. I sort of ignored it, so that's also more so on me. But then, like, also that was one of the game nights during that too. I was like, I went to it and I was like, maybe it'll be okay. And then, like, I saw the chat from before because I kept leaving the game night group because I was so used to, like, leaving groups and stuff. And that might have been before they made it a server. So I kept leaving the groups. And that night, because I was used to leaving other groups because I would get added to them, and then, like, whenever somebody else would be like, "Oh, you want to join this call with whoever," they would just, instead of doing a previous one where we're all in it, they would just make a new one and add us to it. And so I was got in the habit of deleting those, removing them, you know. I didn't think there was much of it really. Apparently, it bothered them. So when I came back into that one group, they put me back into it. It was into the same group. It showed all the chat from when I wasn't there. And I guess them talking about me behind my back like that, like, it wasn't like it was terrible things or anything, but it felt really fucking weird to read that. And so I was just, like, super quiet through most of that and didn't say anything. So, yeah. I eventually, like, came around, you know, I got over it, but it wasn't great. It wasn't the greatest of times for me. Eventually kind of, like, you know, kind of got over it, and, like, I explained, like, why I was so goddamn stressed out for a lot of that too, and they're like, oh, okay, well, that makes sense, I guess. But then eventually the garage sale is happening, and I eventually got this, like, stuff done or whatever, and, like, the garage sale's happening, and that was, I had to take that Saturday off, because it was, like, it was Friday, Saturday, for the sale. And so I was like, well, it doesn't start till later on Friday anyway. So I went to it after work. And then Saturday, I was like, can I get Saturday off? I'm like, yeah. Or at first I was like, it's gonna, like, kind of suck. And they're like, you can have Saturday off. Like, one of the people was like, I'll take Saturday, like, for you, and, like, you can go to that. It's like, really? It's like, that was, like, super nice. So instead of working on Saturday, I worked on Saturday at the garage sale. But we did really well on it too. It was like, we cleared out a shitload of stuff, especially a lot of the electronic stuff and, like, things we didn't want to have to dispose of because you would have to pay money to do that. They were like, yeah, like, people came in and just took a shitload of those, and so we moved a lot of stuff. It was awesome. The worst part about getting stuff ready, I think, was maybe when we had to go through with a shed, because it was mostly my mom and I doing this. Most of the shit in that shed is stuff that my dad put in there, and half of it were like, I don't know what the fuck this is. So we kind of tried to do our best of, like, sorting stuff out there, and then, like, when he came home, was like, hey, you know, help us, like, decipher what these things are and if we're keeping them or not. So that one also was gross in there. It's because it's just outside shed, so a lot of it's just, like, dirty, and, like, some of it is just straight up garbage in there. It was not, that was the worst part. Yeah, and we did pretty good. And then I think that's all of that arc, really, right? Yeah. Yeah, I eventually got all of my room set up and everything, and that was roughly August, September stuff. Oh, actually, another bit of that was that I was in a really bad headspace. That one of the gifts I got from... well, now I feel weird saying it, but I got from, for a birthday thing from, you'll know her handle on Instagram and other places as Little Emo on Tour. She sent me, like, a box of stuff for my birthday. She sent it late, because I think it got here fairly quickly, but she sent it late because it was like they were charging extra stuff for, like, because of, you know, pandemic, whatever, conditions. And so she was like, okay, well, and she's in, like, you know, in like in Germany or whatever. So it was like, okay, well, eventually he's like, I'll just pay it. And I was like, that was nice to do, but I was in such a bad headspace that I had that and I just didn't open it. I just hadn't opened it, so I was like, I want to wait until I feel. And then even when I started feeling a bit better, I was like, I want to wait until I feel like good enough to open this. So it's like I don't want to like ruin how nice this is. You know, like potentially being in a bad headspace, you know, right before doing that, or like during it, or after, or something, like right after. So I was kind of worried about opening it, but we'll get there. um, oh yeah, that also kind of leads a little bit into like the soundbar thing, where, so the soundbar, I got could connect to the HDMI ARC, which is so you can still control it, and basically so you could control it, wouldn't be a delay. You could control it with the remote, the TV remote. And for just watching TV, it worked, and it sounded a little bit better. It wasn't like way better or anything. It wasn't like a super expensive soundbar. I probably should have just got one that was it, because it said it had like a subwoofer like built into it. I probably should have just got something with like a bar and like a sub and something if I wanted it to be really nice, but that seemed like a lot. And that's kind of why this is still raised up, is because the soundbar was there, and I just never unplugged everything and took it down to readjust that to make it lower. At this point, I'm kind of like, fuck it, it's fine. It's not that bad. Gives me room to slide stuff under it if I want to, even though I probably don't want to. But the problem was, when I tried to hook up my capture card, it wasn't working. And so I was like, okay, well, like, it's just like it would get really quiet, and then it would like die, and then it just wouldn't be recognized anymore. And I fucked around with a bunch of stuff, and I got to recognize it again after a while, fucking with it. And then I tried hooking up the capture card again, and then it just died again. So it's like, okay, so the soundbar works, the capture card works, but when you connect them both at the same time, it doesn't work. I even tried it because I have an HDMI switcher I got for this setup and everything too, so a lot of stuff is plugged into that, so I can save spaces, and it's easier to manage the cables from a thing connected over here. But even with that, it's like I hooked it directly into the TV, you know, with the capture card stuff, not going through the switcher or anything, and it still like wouldn't work. It's just something about all those trying to communicate with it just killed it. And so I was like, shit, you know. But then the bright side of it was, and it was like, my friend Kat was like, I'll buy that soundbar from you, right? Like, and I was like, okay, well, and I was nice, and I was like, okay, well, I'll just give it to you, right? Like, the thing doesn't work, like, on my TV. I mean, I even tell you, it was with the capture card stuff. Like, also, to be fair, and that's another part of that, I actually was like, why isn't this working? So I wanted to, like, check the Elgato software, because it's an Elgato AC60S, I think that's what it's called. And so I was like, how do I open up the fucking software? Like, and I tried to do that, and every time I've ever tried to do that, like, because I tried tweaking it in OBS, and I couldn't pull up much. So I was like, okay, well, I'm gonna try to pull up the software. And, like, every time I would try to do that, it would be like, plug it into make sure it's connected to the HDMI 2.0 port or whatever. It's like, it's supposed to be in the 3.0 port, though, and I connected it to the 2.0 port. It didn't do anything. So it would just keep bringing it up and never, like, say it's recognized. So what I did was I actually uninstalled the software, and I went and installed the new, like, try to see if there's newer software to install. And the thing I got was something that opened up and something that looks nothing like what I had before, which leads me to believe that whatever I downloaded before was probably not correct. And that worked right away for getting sound and everything out of it. But yeah, I just that wasn't the issue, because it still wasn't working with the soundbar. It was still killing the soundbar. So I was like, yeah, you can have it. Because also I don't want to have to spend money and like do whatever to like ship it back or return it or whatever. And if you're gonna use it, like it won't be like a waste. It's like barely been used, you know. Um, and so that ended up being kind of a nice excuse for like, okay, so she's like, one weekend she like came down, or up or whatever direction you would say from that, from point her to point me, and showed up here, um, and like hung out for a while too. Also fixed my Game Boy, or my Pokemon Crystal game. She put a new battery in that for me because she had some tools that could do it and do it without needing soldering stuff. And as far as I know, that works. I haven't actually tried to play through the game yet, but like it looks like it was holding a save. So like that was also awesome. And it was just nice to like see, because like the first time I was able to see her, you know, in real life since, you know, since like first meeting her like in college was like, you know, what, like 8 years ago or something, you know, like the last time I saw her or something like that, right? So despite like having like, you know, voice video calls and stuff online, like I don't know, it was nice, really nice. And that was also kind of a special thing because then that gift box I mentioned before, I actually ended up uh, opening that up while she was there because she was like, I would be cool with like doing that, and I was like, okay, and like I was having a really good time. I felt really good. It's like, it's probably a good time to open it, and so I got to share that experience. That was really special. I really like doing that, and yeah, I was pretty happy about it. Um, so see, good things are happening this year too, or had happened. Um, and that was, I'm trying really hard not to sneeze right now. My nose sure wants me to though. Yeah, and then, well, yeah, that was the other thing. I forgot the other thing I was going to mention. For this was like October when this happened. Then it was kind of into October. I think it was early October, um, early to mid October, or something like that. And um, so during the process of editing things, doing channel cleanup, when I got rid of all the instrumental stuff, part of that was the soundtrack to Sam's Halloween Variety Hour 2, uh, which was like the best variety hour that I did. One was the one I had, you know, most time and effort was put into it. I thought it was pretty funny. I thought it had a nice like story thing going on, some nice shots happening, people involved in it. It was really good, and like the later ones kind of built off of, you know, references and stuff from that one. The thing is, the thumbnail for the little thumbnail preview thing looked almost identical to those as the same ones as the as the soundtrack. So I accidentally deleted that video, and that was like, okay, I don't have this backed up anywhere, right? So that's a problem. So you know, one of the things is like, I guess like I was like, how do I get this back? I went to like the Wayback Machine, or something like that, some site like that where it's like archives old like pages and stuff. Because it was basically like the one of the advice things I got for like how to recover your video, and so I tried that, and the only thing I had was like one snapshot of like the homepage of my channel and nothing with that video on it, so I couldn't recover it that way. I don't think anybody would have like randomly saved it somewhere that I could find. And then like they were like, you could try contacting YouTube support, but that usually doesn't work. Admittedly, I didn't do it because I'm a smaller creator I don't know. Like usually they're saying like yeah, like they pretty much once you delete it, it's pretty much gone. You'd have to probably be pretty big to get them to even like give a shit, and even then you have to like wait for them to like see actually read your support thing and like follow through and whatever. And basically the only other things they were showing me were like the stuff where it's like deep, like you use this stuff and like you'll be able to find the data, because usually when you delete stuff it's still like kind of on your disk, hard disk somewhere, but it's like you have to go and like use stuff to like really dig it up from like what it's been buried under. And so normally the user couldn't really get to it. And it's like, well, that also won't work, because when I did that, that was at least one, if not two laptops ago. Because I have a new laptop at this point. So it's like, so basically I'm fucked. The idea that once something is on the internet, it's never off the internet, is not really that true. That was on the internet. It's not on the internet anymore. It doesn't exist anymore. And so once that happened, I saved all the other Halloween Variety Hours and then, deleted them. And it's like, I don't know if I even want to have those up then without the context of the second one being there. Like 1, 3, 4, 5, but they're referencing one that doesn't exist anymore. I don't know. And then, Halloween, October, whatever, was rolling around, and I was like, I don't feel like making another one of those, because, like, I have to do a whole new thing, and then it's like, what do I do? And do I have time and the energy and effort? Like, do I have that in me to do that? And especially, I was still kind of discouraged from, well, still coming off of, like, all the stress and everything that I had from garage sale stuff, but I was like, putting all that time and effort and everything into this video and to have it be gone so easily was just super discouraging. So I didn't do a Halloween video this year. I don't even know if I put anything up on Halloween or around it either. I think I may have just like been like, I'm just not doing anything, and nobody said jack shit about it. So I don't think anyone was disappointed. I don't think anyone gave a shit. So that was that. Yeah, we talked about that part. God. Whose idea was it to wear a sweater for this? It's warm in here. And the hat. And be under. Well, I guess these lights are hot, but they're not like that close to be hot on me. I shouldn't really drink or definitely not eat when I'm doing stuff. Editing stream highlights. There's a few of those where I was eating during it. And even during some of the stuff, like I make mouth sounds whenever I'm close to the mic on About the Albums or in ASMR videos. I'm like, I don't know why I make eating ASMR videos other than I like eating. Because like listening to the sounds later, it's like it irritates the shit out of me. And like when other people do it, it's not as bad. But for some reason when I'm doing it, I'm like, you disgusting fuck. Oh, okay. So here's where we're gonna get potentially age gated. November. No, not November. I participated in it. I actually got OnlyFans to support someone on there, and I won't say who, because I don't know if they want me spreading that they have an OnlyFans or not. I don't know. But once November rolled around, I was like, got way too tempted. For the first part of November, I did like a no. I wouldn't touch at all. That was the thing. I did that for as long as I could stand doing that. Eventually, I broke on that because I had a lot of people. Basically, I was kind of looking for like the extra challenges. So I was out being like, "Hey, if you break me, there might be something in it for you. You know, a lot of that stuff, because that's always fun to add stakes to it. And somebody was pushing me pretty hard on this one. A number of people were doing a little bit, but one person in particular was like, they were after it. And basically, what do they have there? I started going on to like OnlyFans stuff, and being like, okay, they break me on OnlyFans, I'll give like a nice tip or something on there. Like that's the kind of the thing I'll do, right? I got a little carried away with some of that, of following people and looking at things, and I don't know if you know this. I guess it's probably not much of a secret. I'm a fan of Kiwi Sunset, and she apparently, which I didn't really know, it kind of happened under my radar until all of a sudden it's like, oh yeah, I have a free OnlyFans, but there's like sets and stuff you can buy on there. So of course I was like all over that and kind of unable to control myself. It's like I can't not buy these sets. I need to see that. I was in trouble before OnlyFans level of lewds was a thing she was doing, so yeah. But eventually, so it was a lot of edging for most of the rest of the month until like roughly at like the 20th or so, I think. I had someone send me a bunch of stuff. That one person that was pushing me really hard and broke me. And the thing that was kind of shitty though was that I did it like 4 or 5 times that day, but I just kind of thought nothing of this. Basically, it was like I was kind of actually having some trouble. Like I wasn't shooting. It was coming out. I was finishing, but it was like just kind of like came out a little bit. Didn't really like shoot out like it usually does. And it wasn't as intense of a feeling when it did. Actually, for a few days after that, it was like I couldn't even get full hard. So that was concerning as someone who was used to doing this multiple times a day before this, and then not having anything remotely close to these problems. All of a sudden, these just happen. Was really, really concerning to someone like me. You know, I'm not that old. I don't think anything significantly changed. I'm like, did I fuck something up from like edging that much? I don't know. And to say, at this point, I'm better. I can get full hard again. Sometimes I shoot, but it seems like it's not as easy to do anymore. So potentially I fucked something up. I don't know. It could just be I'm slowly coming back into that. I don't know. No idea. But I'm at a point where I'm relatively like I'm good enough, right? Like it could be worse. It could have been worse back then too, but it could be worse. So it's okay. Those are the things I maybe shouldn't have brought up. Usually, you know, I think dick issues might get your video age gated, but we'll see if the community wants it to. I'll understand. So also there's the whole thing of then a bunch of COVID stuff happened, where it was like I don't know if that was like the end of November, I think. Or maybe it was even the middle of November at some point. Something like during November. Maybe it was during this too. I'm not sure. It may have been during this. A bit. I don't remember the exact timelines of this. It must be. It was during November, anyways. It was like. I don't think it was late October. I don't think. It was like Lilly on tour gets COVID. I'm super worried about that. And then like another friend gets COVID, worried about that. And then my parents both get it. And shit, I have to quarantine. And then I don't have any symptoms really, but I have to go test to see. It comes back negative. Then the one night I stayed up too late. Basically, it was the one night I stayed up really late, and I was like recording the last of the about the albums stuff. So I kind of stayed up almost like all night. It was like 7:30 in the morning when I finally was like, I want to sleep now. And the next day, I felt like I had a runny nose, and I thought it was because I brought Christmas stuff down, and maybe I was kind of like developing an allergy or something to the stuff. But then like I was really dizzy, and again I kind of and like tired, and I was like, well, I didn't sleep that much. It was probably because of that. And then like I kind of started feeling sicker and sicker throughout the night. And basically it was like the next day. I think it was the next day. I like got up and like, it was like, and like that night it was doing a thing of like I was getting super cold, and I had to like sleep for a bit, and then it would get super hot, and then I had to like take my like, stuff off. I was tired. I was a little sore. I had the cough thing. My ears were plugged up. My nose was running. Kind of dizzy. But the thing was like, in the morning or whatever, and it's like I wash my face or whatever. Like the soap in like the bathroom, like the hand soap stuff we had is like pretty potent, and I could not smell any of it. And that's like, okay, all this other stuff could have been regular sick, but if I can't smell anything, I'm not regular sick. So then I went and got tested again, and I kind of mentioned too, like, for like work to work, I was like, hey, I'm sure I have it because I can't smell, and nothing I've ever had before has made it so I actually can't smell anything. So I probably have it, but it test came back negative. So they're like, okay, we'll keep it a couple more days if you have symptoms or whatever. And it's like I ended up feeling fine once I was actually better. Because you still kind of hear it in my voice a little bit. So like, there's gonna be a batch of What's the Deal with Sam episodes where it was like all basically like in that one day, and it was like, so it's kind of funny that I was like, before I had it, I recorded a bunch of about the album stuff, and then right after like getting well enough after it, I did a bunch of What's the Deal with Sam. And yeah, like during it when I was like sick, I basically was just like trying to pound down as much water as I could and just sweating constantly while feeling kind of like regular sick. So it wasn't like real. I didn't even have a headache from it, so it wasn't like real bad. But I'm not like in a high risk group or anything anyway, so it's whatever. I wasn't really that worried for me. And so basically what happened then was it was like it was just kind of rough because it's like, okay, so I kind of pissed away all this money on OnlyFans stuff during November. Then I quarantined and I can't work, and it's like, oh, and now holiday season's kicking in. I'll have to buy things with money that I can't get from not being able to work, kind of thing, right? So it's kind of not a good lead-in to the December holiday season. Also, it was bad timing because it happened like that weekend. I found out, and it was like the following week I was gonna have a shitload of hours, a lot of like opening, almost opening, closing, right? Because someone just went on vacation, and it was like I felt really really bad because like that's kind of like the reason I'm there. I feel like is to cover for vacations and other shit, right? So I felt like so bad. It was like. And I was like, I know it's not really my fault or anything. It's nobody's fault, but I still feel bad because I want to be helpful. Oh, and also right now, because I felt fine for a while now. I guess probably a few weeks or something now, right? But like, I can't. I can start to smell some stuff now too. I'm starting to be able to smell a little bit, so it's not like it's not back yet totally, but at least I'm able to smell something. And I luckily didn't lose my taste, because I think if I lost my taste, I would have been like super depressed for that, because like I like eating food a lot, So, what gave you that idea? Which that's a great, like that's kind of the thing, right? Like I got the best of both worlds. Like I'm just I'm short enough to be an elf and fat enough to be Santa. I'm all of it in one. I'm basically my own Christmas miracle. So, oh, it's kind of a long one. So I kind of feel like I have to address this a bit for me to get it out there. And I don't know if you guys are interested. I guess I don't know. But the whole, like I was mentioning before, a fan of Kiwi Sunset, that thing. Because I remember talking to her when she was not like she was small when I started like talking to her. She said like 14,000 followers or something at the time. She's got like, I don't know, maybe 700K at this point. Maybe it's 8. I don't know. She's I don't think it's gonna be that long before she has a million at this point. She exploded in popularity. It was crazy. And I do kind of want to preface some of this I'm talking about here, what I'm about to get to. I want to preface this with, I know, like, basically, like, I'm grateful that I got to help, right? I got to, mostly it's at, like, the point where, because I did some, like, I did, like, her Patreon stuff, and I got, a few wishlist things for her or whatever, but mostly it was, like, the one thing was, like, I'm really glad I got to be part of when she, like, kind of, like, got kicked out, and she needed, like, money to, like, move into a new place kind of quickly because she was getting kicked out of nowhere. And I was like, she like a GoFundMe thing for that. And I donated, I don't know how much, like, I think I had, like, 200 or something to that. And I was going to do more, because basically I was like, I did that chunk first, and I was like, okay, well, we'll see this, and like near the end of it, if there's more to fill in, I'll see if I can add more to the end of it to help. By the time I looked at it again, it was like, it was done. It was cleared, right? She'd reached it, and so she was able to move out and get to her own place. And I was like super happy I got to be part of that, to help her like do that, because she got her own place, and it was like right away, right? Like she got her own place, she like got that shit, like somehow like got the place like right away and got it figured out, and then was like, okay, doing my thing now. I'm doing it on my own time. I can do it because I own this place. I can do it when I want to do it. I can make my time for it, and like working on sets, getting stuff up on her Patreon, getting that pushed forward. Actually, maybe she didn't even. I don't remember if she had Patreon before that or not. I thought she did, but maybe she didn't. Maybe she didn't. I can't remember. Maybe she had it set up and she hadn't done much on it yet. I don't remember exactly the timeline on that, but like, I think it was like, she like did like the Patreon thing after that and started doing sets on there. So maybe she just opened it then, and it was like, boom, immediately, shitload of people right on it. Immediately like, hugely successful there because she was able to actually. I think that was, maybe she didn't have it yet because she was actually able to do it then. She didn't want to start it and not be able to be consistent on it or whatever. So it might have been that. And it was just like, to see that, and then immediately, boom, has that, can start doing stuff on her own. It's like, buys a car. I assume she was saving up for a car anyway. She buys a car. I don't think you get enough Patreon money to buy a fucking car immediately, right? But like, it's nuts. So I was really, really happy that I could be part of helping her get there and be like happy and be able to do the shit like she wants to do and be independent with that. Like that felt awesome to be able to be part of that. And it wasn't super fun to have to fight off trolls in her comments all the time, and bring up some stuff there, but whatever. That happens. They're mad because I got replies and comments and they didn't. They'd be more upset if they knew I was talking to her in the DMs too, but basically, and also the other thing I want to bring up too, a lot of prefacing, because I don't want this to come off poorly on her at all, because she has like all these platforms she's on. She's trying to put shit on like all these platforms and keep up with all these platforms, um, and take really like try to do like these like these different like finding outfits and like different like sets and setups and stuff for the photo shoots and like edit all of her photos and like have high quality photos and that shit. Right? She's not just like taking selfies and throwing them up like that's good enough. Um, she's not just going out to like OnlyFans and like I don't know. Here's just me, you know, here's just me topless or something in front of a, with my webcam or whatever. I don't know. Like the stuff is like obviously very like deliberate. A lot of effort and time and work goes into that. She tries really, really hard to acknowledge fans, be nice to them, and interact with them, and she's very grateful for all the stuff that they've allowed her to do. So I don't really want to say anything like I don't want this to reflect poorly on her, but essentially, the thing I'm coming into here is that I've essentially been very open, very clear about things, and like I was at a point where I was like, basically for a bit there, I was like, I have a crush on you, and I wanted to like address feelings, and she kind of would not engage with that conversation. She would talk about other things, but wouldn't engage with that. And then I feel like whenever I try to bring up something serious, like I think this like friendship thing is like kind of difficult. Like some of this has been difficult for me. A lot of it she will ignore or not engage with it because she doesn't have an interest in it or doesn't know how to engage with it. I don't know. There's not communication happening with those parts of it, so I can't know. And the unfortunate truth of what's been going on, I guess, something I've kind of come to the realization of, and the basically, I'm dancing around it a lot with words. Essentially, I was like, I can't, I can't do this anymore. I kind of find out that I sort of need someone to communicate with me, and she doesn't have really she doesn't have the time most of the time, and when she does, I don't know if she has the interest in going that deep and like having that much of a conversation with me about this, to do that. So it, I feel like essentially what I kind of require is a very needy person for friendship to like function. She is either unwilling or unable to do, and so here we are. And I feel really bad that I did this because I didn't really like preface it or like pull up to it or anything. I guess the last thing I had sent, because also I was kind of upset that she kind of keeps doing this thing where she's like, hey, follow me on Twitter instead. I don't have Twitter. I've had Twitter twice. I don't want to go back to Twitter. I don't feel like she would want to reach out and follow me on a different platform where it'd be easier to communicate either. Again, I don't know if she'd have the time anyway or the interest. But just, yeah, the last message I sent, she had been on, I did like a week. And she had been on since I'd sent it too, and posted more and done stuff and interacted with other people and didn't respond to that. And so it was like, all right, well, I think that's enough. And for my own mental health and not have to keep going through that and be like, why can't she like talk with me like this and like communicate with me on this level? Why isn't she interested in doing it, that kind of thing, instead of continually beating myself up for it and tearing my hair out. Like, I don't understand. I blocked her because it's like I don't want to have her stuff pop up and then see and then think about that again and be like, I can't do it. And out of respect for that, I've also I haven't deleted all the stuff that I got from Patreon sets yet. I'm going to probably, so that doesn't keep weighing down on me either. But those are easier to not look at because they're often like a folder on my computer, and I can just not look in that folder if I don't want to have that triggered, right? And just like if she wants to like. If she wants to contact me, I have YouTube, I have a YouTube, I have a Steam account, I have Discord, I have, well, I guess she knows I have OnlyFans because she saw it was on there. Um, I'm on the internet. I'm not that hard to find when you know my name. I don't think. Um, so I don't know. Um, if she like wants to contact me, like talk about this or anything or whatever, like, what, she knows where to find me, but I doubt she will. I just doubt she will because I don't know if she'll have again, the time or the interest to do that. And I'm sure she has plenty of, at this point especially, she probably has plenty of other people that will be more helpful for like support, to be more helpful to talk to be more more fun to talk to. Because I also sort of got the feeling that most of the reason she was talking to me still, when I would come back after being mad, or upset or in a dark place or something and not talking for a while, myself, and hearing nothing in those absences, by the way. But when I would do that, like, the last time it was kind of like, I feel like she only really talks to me still because she appreciates what I did and because she recognizes me from before. I don't know that she necessarily enjoys talking with me all that much. So that's just that's what I got based on actions taken and whatnot. So, I also took down the one thumbnail because I did it was Theo Sam on No Not November, and I retroactively was like, was it okay that I used the fan sign you gave me for that? Because I know it was a fan sign you gave to me, but I also just wanted to be sure you were okay with that. She's like, that's fine. I was like, I shouldn't have that up there anymore if I have her, like, I'm not talking to her now, essentially, if I have her blocked on Instagram, that she won't notice because she doesn't really use Instagram that often to do things anymore anyway. But she has a... I think I was going to put her on the thumbnail of a different one, but now, of course, now I'm not going to. But that being said, a little plug, she has Instagram, and Twitter, and OnlyFans, and I think she's going to she has Gumroad for like previous sets, I think, too. I think looking at her link stuff, she has like a PayPal thing you can pay. I don't know if that's just to donate or for, I don't know. She has Patreon. So if you want to keep the stuff, Patreon's pretty good too. For the current ones anyways. And probably other platforms. I think she has been talking about doing Twitch, but I don't know if she's actually going to find the time to do Twitch or not. But yeah. That's... Yeah, for Kiwi Sunset. So, because she's still, like, even if I'm not talking anymore, still one of the cutest girls I've ever seen, so, it's kind of hard to be like, it's not like you shouldn't check her out. You probably will have a better time if you can, if you're cool with the amount of commitment and attention, whatever, you can get. Which most people probably should be, especially if they're just fans of people online. Especially when they're, someone who almost has 1 million followers on Instagram. The fact that they find any time to talk to me at all in DMs is insane. And if I was, I'm sure if I was somebody else, it would be different. I would be, I would be trying really hard to be like, hey, like, I want to talk to you, and I'm trying hard to, like, not, upset her, and just be able to just still have my presence there and be like, in case something happens, or like someone who's like, maybe I can get something out of this, or, weird shit like that, to like, to benefit me, but, I'm not doing that because I don't know, I'm a real person, I don't know, I feel like that would just be fucked up, to do that, especially when it's obviously detrimental to, like, my mental health. I have to kind of, like, have to think about me, and that's sort of the next bit to talk about here when I cross that part off. for that, because we covered you. Um, because I actually blocked a lot of people on Instagram. I'm unsure if I want to keep using Instagram. Um, because I feel like people aren't. I'm not having the conversations I want to have on Instagram. I'm not getting a lot of people on there. I feel like taking pictures is becoming kind of. It's okay to do, but I don't really feel much of anything when I'm posting stuff and nobody cares. Especially as someone who will engage and have like longer conversations, and I will talk to people. I feel like the idea that I'm posting and people won't engage with me on my posts, the idea that I can go and comment on people's stuff with some like longer thought out stuff and they will dislike it or be like, a few words in a response and kind of want to diffuse conversation. The idea that I can't get these conversations to happen at all is very, very disheartening, and I don't know. It's probably not healthy to continue trying to do that stuff either. So I can still consider like maybe I won't have Instagram anymore. Maybe I won't have Facebook anymore. And the thing is, if I get rid of Instagram, I'm not replacing it with Twitter. I'm not going to Twitter instead. If I get rid of Instagram, I just won't have Instagram. If I get rid of Facebook, I just won't have Facebook, right? Which is another thing I've been considering since I barely ever fucking use it anyway. So, I don't know. And most of my stuff I'm making and putting content on YouTube. I might as well just do stuff on YouTube. So, the live streaming thing is kind of a waste on Instagram. I just do it to see if anyone will hang out, and they don't. If I want that, I can get that on YouTube anyway, right? I blocked a lot of people on there too, just because they probably aren't. It's probably just not healthy for me to keep talking to some of these people on there anyway. So I just started blocking them. I actually had to block somebody on YouTube recently too. Again, mental health stuff, and the idea that someone would and for the YouTube one, it was basically like someone, who would, despite me bringing up these points, would continually be like, push their ideas on me in a way that seemed like they were presupposing they were correct on everything they were saying, and in a way that seems like, okay, that's very like grating the way you say things. It's very annoying to me. It's very disrespectful, and I've brought this up, and it's like, I guess instead of trying at all to, be more tactful with your language, they just didn't, and didn't care. And also, I'm trying to diffuse conversation because I don't want to have this conversation, then they would just kind of keep going on and be like, well, whatever. I mean, if you don't want to do that, then that's, I guess, your problem. Like, weird, like, passive-aggressive shit kind of like that, too. It's just like, all right, well, eventually I was like, okay, well, if you don't stop, like, because I have to reply, which I already explained before. I was like, I have to reply to all these, so it says in my little thing on the Creator Studio that I've responded to everyone. It's like, I have to respond. So it's not like it's not like I necessarily want to keep this going, but I have to respond, so that shows up that way. And it's like, if you keep this behavior up, because this is your warning. If you keep this up, I'm just going to block you. And he left a huge fucking reply to that. And I was like, okay, fuck it. I read like the first couple lines, like, okay, just block him. Fuck it. Like, I warned him. And I was mostly annoyed. At that point, I was just also mostly annoyed because it brought up a thing of like, essentially being like, you don't, like, you think this game is, bad because you're not good at it, because you suck at it. It's like, I didn't say that. I've never made a claim about a game's quality based on how good or bad I am at it. That's not what I do. I've never done that. I have, over 150 reviews that say that. One of the stupidest fucking things I've heard as far as criticisms of real person reviews, and it's like, okay, you're a fucking idiot. So, like, I don't know. And I don't know if they're watching, they have to be on a different account or not logged in or something. If they are and you're watching this, I don't care. You're just whatever. Doesn't matter. I don't think anybody saw the comment thread or anything anyway. So, like, it's gone now. I deleted it. So, yeah, just if I warn you, which, granted, I don't do that often. I'm usually pretty open with the crazy shit that goes on in my comments things, but if I warn you, it's like, okay, like, you have to stop this, or I'm going to block you. Stop it, or I'm going to block you. But I'll cross off a couple more of these. So I got that. Alright. We're almost done. What is this, like an hour long video? It's over an hour, I think now. Holy shit. I am a rambler. This I can do. This is why my streams are always so long. See, this isn't code green. This is code red. Regular Mountain Dew is more green than that. Okay. We have fun here. Right. So, I'm sure there's a lot of other little things I could bring up here and there that I probably missed. But in general, this year, self-reflection of myself. I haven't done anything real major this year, I don't think, in terms of improving myself. But I think mostly it's been this incremental thing of getting better at I'm getting better at certain things. So I'm like always trying to continue to be like, more understanding of people, to understand like how they're like understand like how they're thinking, how they're feeling, and being able to act and react appropriately, to be I'm trying to be very understanding and trying to be a decent person. But like even hearing some of this, blocking people, and trying to kind of work with that kind of thing. I've been trying to be a bit nicer to myself, and not in the terms of like trying to build myself up so much, because I think that's like kind of a step too far yet before I get there, to really building myself up, which I maybe do a little bit. Every once in a while I'll find something and be like, oh, that's kind of cool about me, right? Like I don't share people's Patreon or OnlyFans content or whatever with others or something just because I'm being asked in my DMs to do that, or shit like that, or I'm not. I don't know. I'm a genuine person. I'm very open about things and whatever, and I don't know. Like there are parts of me that I think are good like that, but like mostly it's been a steps towards something. Probably a step before that, a level under that, where it's like, okay, well, I need to stop sacrificing myself and like my mental health and my patience and stuff. Like I need to stop giving up so much of myself to try and help other people, or to try and not be try to be less offensive to other people, or less good. I don't know how to put it, but essentially I'm not necessarily being bad to them when I do this. I'm just not being as good as or as nice and as generous as when I'm sacrificing myself to do it. Sacrificing my patience and my sanity and my, that's not healthy. And so I've been trying to really work on that. And like, again, I think I've been doing an okay job, because it's one of these things where it's like, it kind of sucks at first, because I know that I'm like not doing something that I would normally be better, more beneficial for the other person, but I do end up usually feeling better afterward, because it's like, this is helping me not have that kind of stress on my mind anymore. So I think I'm getting in that sense I'm getting better, and that's been basically the big revelation, is incrementally being better to myself. So that's That's probably good. Final thing on here is just channel stuff, future of the channel, things going forward. Going to try to finish up. I'm pretty sure channel cleanup is not going to be done before the end of the year, but I'm going to work on that. Do more channel cleanup. Finish up channel cleanup on the reviews, and once I'm done with that, I will start posting more reviews. I'm probably still going to be working on them. But Real Person Reviews isn't gone. I just haven't had one out for a while. Stream highlights, still working on those, but they take a long time to watch the entire stream and then make sure that things are edited correctly and then watch the full highlight thing, and then I'll have to start uploading those. I'll get those done. And as far as music, that stuff's going about the albums and remasters are going into like February, I think. And the last one is one nobody has heard. It's an album that I recorded around the same time as the Sad Michelle's stuff, but it's never put out, so I just threw that together. It's like, that's an album. So I don't know when I'll be recording new stuff. I plan on recording another album at some point, and hopefully having better sound quality to do that. Perhaps even having different equipment and stuff for it. Like, obviously I'm not going to record it through my camera. It'd be through my mic or something directly in, or so I have to figure that out. But a lot of my music is usually to help me work through shit, and it's like, well, I haven't been in such a bad place, I think, where I feel creatively bad. I have to work it out through music, so a lot of times I don't, or if I feel that, I just listen to old music that I've done and kind of work out through that. But we will see. Something will probably happen soon. Not soon, something will probably happen eventually, is what I wanted to say. It will probably happen more so than it won't happen. ASMR videos is another one. I want to do more ASMR videos. I do. I just have to find the time and the effort and the right ideas. I have to be in the mood to do the idea and have the time to do it when I have the idea and I'm in the mood for it, if that makes sense. But I do want to do more because I know most people subscribe for that. That last ASMR video I did got like, the one I put up that was the video game update for November, got like 50 views in a few days. I was like, okay, people still do like watching that for some reason, even though the audio on that one kind of sucked. Hopefully the audio in this one's okay. I've had the same distance from me. I maybe could have had the mic closer this whole time, but whatever. That's that's fine. And streaming, I will probably stream again. I'm doing editing streams on Instagram, just like to hang out while I'm editing the stream highlights together for like the gameplay stuff. As far as streaming games, I wrote down a list of stuff where it's like, these are games I need to. Some games I'd have to restart. I've drawn a list of like the games I have to continue playing to try and finish. So I'm going to try to finish those before moving on to too much new stuff on stream. I'm also. I had an idea to do, and I may have brought this up before, of like a new series where I review cheap microphones. I've kind of canned that series idea because it's just, I don't feel like I'm going to have the time and the effort and the drive to do that anymore. So that's out. But I'm also dabbling with the idea of trying to stream on Twitch. And if I did that, I probably wouldn't be like saving the videos or anything. It would just be me like going on to Twitch and like playing and then being like, all right, I'm done. And like out. Right, like it would just be like, so like something like, Splatoon 2 or like something probably more grindy or something where it wouldn't be that entertaining to just like do it on YouTube necessarily. I might just do there, especially for something that's a little more open-ended like that and more endless kind of stuff. I could potentially play some Overwatch on that. I don't know, like there's stuff I could play, but I don't know. If you think that's an okay idea, let me know, because I do have a Twitch account, again, mostly to watch Little Emo on tour. Subscribe to her on Twitch. That's why I use my Prime sub. I use my Prime sub every month to do that. And Also follow her on Instagram, and I think she has a TikTok. I don't use TikTok. I can't advise you to use it, but if you already do, be sure to follow the cutest girl on all of these platforms. Um, and I don't know. If there's any other like questions or like thoughts or like suggestions for things or whatever, feedback, there's the comment section. Leave that down there. I'll try to get back to you guys because I usually am pretty good about responding to the comments. So hopefully the noises and sounds and volumes and everything were okay, and the lighting and visuals. Hopefully it doesn't get so horribly dark when I try to put it on YouTube that you can't tell what's going on. I have the exposure rather high, but who knows? Even though I'm negative space up here and I've been hunched over the whole fucking time, but that's, I think, everything. Hopefully the year hasn't been too bad for you, because all things considered, it hasn't really been too bad for me. And I assume next year will probably be, for me, roughly the same, hopefully better. You know, in the sense that I don't have to worry about anyone dying from a global disease. Wouldn't that be nice? Yeah, I think that's all I got. So have a great year.